So I want to tell you the story of, it's a miracle story of how this book came about. My fourth book, Mindful Masculinity, a book for men and the women who love them. So I had been doing the troubadour, speaking, writing, leading workshops, traveling the world, basically, for 30 years or so, and it dried up. Gradually, the gigs stopped coming. And first I took to self-pity, and then I got angry at God. Like, what have you done? Where's my bread and butter? I loved traveling and serving and sharing. And it went away. And then, my CD sales had accounted for 60% of my income. And when music streaming came on the scene, people didn't buy CDs. So that also dried up. So eventually I had to get a job. I got a part-time job at Sprouts, which is like a cross between Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. And at first I hated it. It was menial. I was used to being treated special, and it just, I was cleaning toilets, sweeping the floors. I did enjoy helping customers find what they were looking for and the interpersonal stuff, but I didn't enjoy the sweeping floors until my ego eventually surrendered to at least accept that this was my path right now. I remembered that a spiritual teacher said, when you're in love's presence, you can be a street sweeper and still be in bliss. And so I swept, and I cleaned the toilets, and I brightened up the place with just my inner song as I would start to sing to myself as I was sweeping. And then COVID came around, and the few gigs that I had on weekends dried up, of course, and I needed a second job. So I asked my inner guidance what to do about my finances. And my guidance said, forget about it. Just enjoy life. Go do things that you love. Follow your bliss. Do what you love, the money will follow. So I played music at the local health food store. There was an outdoor area, and this man and his daughter were having lunch there, and it was his daughter's birthday. So I improvised a song to celebrate his daughter's birthday. He took my card, and gradually he started to hire me to create songs for his friends and family, for birthdays, for no reason at all, for his business, which was called Man Cave America. We became friends. And he heard from my mouth that I was in a financial illusion of lack. And he offered me a job to do computer data entry and to answer the phones on weekends. So I took the job, even though I don't like computers, and it didn't appeal to me, but I needed the money. Eventually, Henry, my boss, read one of my books, and he became fascinated with my other talents. He started to use me as a life coach, as a guide, and to bring some of his staff members to me when they were having troubles. So gradually, and then he said, I want you to write some essays on masculinity. And here are some topics that have always interested me. So as I was writing these essays, it occurred to me that there was a book inside me, and that Henry was helping to release it. And so I told him, and he basically paid me by the hour, 20 hours a week, to write the book. So that's how mindful masculinity came about. And it's interesting to me because the ego's plan has to fail in order for God's plan to unfold. We have to fail. We can't be successful in our own eyes and be humble enough to let the armor rust and simplify our lives enough to follow something other than our own plans. And the other interesting thing about mindful masculinity that I feel inspired to share with you is when my daughter's mother broke up with me, ended the relationship about 12 years ago, I sunk into a deep depression, and the thoughts that were causing the depression was, I'm not good enough as a man. I'm not adequate as a man. I'm not manly enough. And it's a belief that I carried from childhood. The traditional ways of looking at masculinity, I don't measure up. I don't fix things. I don't go to the gym and, work out. So I really was under the spell of not good enough as a man. And when this book began to come through, I became aware that I was healing myself of that belief. And not only doing that, but recognizing that I have a new version of masculinity to bring to the planet. Not only am I good enough as a man, but I actually am part of a renaissance in which masculinity is maturing and becoming more whole-brained. Because in the past, men just access their left brain, and the right brain, where the intuition is, where I would consider the Holy Spirit speaks to us, where things are more feminine and allowing and relaxed, that is a necessity, evolutionarily speaking. We need men and women to be more whole-brained. So that's what the book is about. I'm going to turn the recording off and hold it up for questions and